gosh, this is actually really funny. Oh, so I'm tall enough now to bend over and see my pot. And well, it's ugly. Gerard sighed as he was greeted by Frank's complaints. The moment he walked out of the sliding balcony door, his plant had grown a lot over the span of a few days. After a long night of learning about each other, Gerard left Frank, who was then just ahead. Imagine like your neighbors just like looking out the window. Wow, it's a beautiful day, and then you just see a talking plant head, and your neighbor is like in love with it. Like I could never. So he could go back on the balcony so he could go back to bed. When he went to check on him the next morning, he was amazed, but not shocked, to see that the mandrake had grown again. He then had shoulders, to which Gerard's exasperation were naked. God. Tattooed and very, very nice. He had also had little branches poking out of random places around his back and shoulders, which led him gleefully to announce, "He's a tree, Gerard! You're a tree! Gerard, I'm a tree!" This day, however, Frank was up to his armpits. He had tattooed arms along with them. "Good morning to you, Frank," Gerard said into his cup of coffee. "Nice to see you finally have arms." "What exactly you want me to do about it?" Frank grinned. "Yeah, I love my arms. I can finally hook them now." He laughed gleefully, whipping them around before getting back to the original topic. So, I really hate this shit, Mom. It's like someone took shit, painted on it. It's just not me. It's a gift from my mother, you know. Gerard smiled. You have to agree. I mean, rude. You literally did not care less. You literally threw it for your dust collection. You could not care less. You wanted to decorate that pot with vomit. Ew! The moment it was presented to him. Oh! I'm sorry. I didn't. It's fine. I hate it too. Frank smiled back at Gerard. Somehow, already so lively, so early in the morning, or maybe it was actually afternoon, Gerard had overslept again. Who could know? So, do you think you could, like, paint it or something? You're really good. That drawing of Scorpion you showed me was spot on. Gerard, at the moment, was more interested in the arms that were crossed around the plant's chin. Ugh. Setting his coffee down, he walked over to take a look at them. Can I see your hands?" he asked, kneeling in front of the pot. It's kind of crazy for a tree to have hands, you know? "Yeah." Frank nodded and lifted his chin to move his hand in front of Gerard's face, spreading his fingers across. I don't get that. Hard to show them. Gerard didn't know what to expect from a plant's hand, but he was amused nonetheless. A few fingers ended in a leaf as if they were fingers with branches. The fingernails is he like actually a tree, or is he growing like a normal Frank Iero? Does he like just look like normal Frank Iero but with like branches? I don't know. Fingernails seemed to be made of bark. They were already pretty long. He reached out to touch the hands in front of him before stopping himself and drawing back. "Can I?" God. Frank nodded, and Gerard took a hand to his palm, rubbing the skin with his thumb. This is weird. He found that it was actually quite soft and warm. Without thinking, he intertwined his fingers with Frank and just held the hand, looking at it, not registering where he was or what he was doing. It wasn't until he felt Frank that he was brought back to reality. Okay. Blushing ferociously, he turned away to help the plant, sitting close to him. Sorry, yeah, I'll paint your pot. I'll be right back with the stuff, he muttered, standing up, walking back to the house. Shit. Gerard grumbled to himself, looking around for a clean paintbrush. He's too cute. Am I really that lonely? He's a tree. Killer. Dude, yeah. He was walking towards the kitchen to clean off his brushes. Then the doorbell rang, making him jump. He went to answer, and was surprised to see his brother standing there, doing his weird knee thing. What is his weird knee thing? Mikey, what are you doing here? He asked, moving out of the way to let him in. I came to meet your beloved plant. He talks now, Mikey said, smirking. Am I interrupting something? Gerard sighed, pushing back the thoughts he was having before Mikey showed up. He began washing the dirty brushes in the sink. No, I was just about to paint his pot. He's out on the balcony. You can go out. His name is Frank. He then turned back to his brother with a pleading look on his face. And Mikey, please don't embarrass me. He's really cute. Oh God. He's a plant. A special plant. Mikey shrugged, still smirking at his brother. Why are you smirking? Sometimes he couldn't believe he was the younger of the two. No worries, I'll be nice to your plant boyfriend. That's weird. This is so weird. Gerard mumbled something back. Mikey, already walking out of the balcony for Frank, upon seeing a man that wasn't his owner, perked up with curiosity. Hey, you're not Gerard. Mikey leaned on the wall of the apartment facing the tree. No, I'm his brother, Mikey. You're his brother. Wait, does that mean his hair isn't naturally black and That's so mean. Mikey couldn't help but chuckle at that. Not the black. The sadness is completely natural. It runs throughout his whole body. Okay. Frank frowned and furrowed his brow. Playing with the piercing on his lip. Second thought, he turned back to Mikey with complete seriousness. I don't want him to be sad. Mikey grinned warmly. Cocked his head, as if mentally going, Aww! He's right. You are cute, dude. He called me cute. The Mandrake sputtered, the blush contracting from the green leaves growing through his body. Oh, so he is green. God. Before Mikey could answer, Gerard spilled himself through the floor, balancing several bottles of paint. You could have asked for help, though. You could have asked for help. Cup of water and freshly cleaned brushed his arm. I don't know what color you wanted, so I just brought everything, he huffed, dropping the bottles on the ground. Perfect timing. I was about to go into detail about your embarrassing moments, Mikey said to his older brother. But I didn't care. I didn't care because I care about you too much. Gerard sat himself in front of Frank and began arranging materials. Haha, very funny. You and I both know you haven't cared about anything since the 90s. What? Okay. Hey, I care. Anyway, I'm going to head out. I'm meeting up with someone on the side of town. Nice meeting you, Frank. You too, Frank chirped. Gerard gave his goodbyes, setting down the newspaper to work over. Once everything was ready to go, Gerard turned to Frank. So, what base color do you want? Frank studied the colors in front of him briefly before making a decision. Black. I keep forgetting the voice. Gerard held back an emo joke and opened the bottle of black paint and got to work. As he was painting, he could feel Frank blaring holes into him, leaning up and realized the plant was staring at the back of his hands. You want to give your hands a try? Oh. He smiled. Frank broke into a wide grin and nodded. He handed Frank a wet brush and put some paint where he could reach. He watched Frank grip the brush and swipe across the front of his pot, looking like he had just won the lottery. Gerard's heart skipped a beat. God, at how stupidly cute Frank. But if you think a tree is cute, ew, that's weird. He went back to work on the back of the pot, avoided the temptation to look at his face. Oh my God. The two working together, the black face was finishing in no time. Frank was practically squealing. Gerard couldn't help but blush when he asked, so what do you want me to paint? Frank thought for a moment. He proudly answered, weed. Nah, I'm joking. Could you paint a guitar? How does he know what weed is? I get he's emo or whatever. And how does he even know what a guitar is? I get he's emo, but he's basically a newborn baby. Ah! That's weird thinking. Could you paint a guitar with music notes coming out of it? Maybe in red? Gerard agreed, and started work on the guitar. Since he was painting it on the front of the pot, he was kneeling in front of Frank, and knew Frank was watching him. The silence started to eat away at him, so he blurted out, you want to listen to some music? You like the Misfit? Hell yeah, I love the Misfits. Dude, I get you're emo, but you were just born 2 days ago. Ugh. Born 2 days ago. Gerard sighed relieved, opened up some music from his phone. After a bit, Frank began to sing along, and prompted Gerard to sing too. After some reluctance, Gerard began to sing along, and they ended up having too much fun that time flew by and the painting was done. Frank leaned over to look at gasp in awe. Gerard, you're amazing. Amazing singer and amazing artist. Incredible. Gerard blushed, probably for the 30th time, and stuttered, I'm not that great. Are you kidding me? Look at this. You completely free-handed this. I love you. Frank's words made Gerard's heartbeat go in overdrive. The happiness radiating from the plant made him twice as attractive. If it was even possible, he was sitting so close. He's not sitting, it's a plant. All he had to do was over there, lean over and place his lips on the smiling ones in front of him. Okay. Frank! Suddenly a drop of water hit on his head. The two looked up and realized it was beginning to rain. No, Frank yelled. It'll ruin your painting. Here, I'll take you inside, Gerard said to soothe the tree. Careful not to touch the drying guitar, he rubbed his hands around Frank's pot and began to lift him. The effort was a lot heavier than he looked. Frank had to hold on to Gerard's shoulders to avoid being shaken around. Of course. Thank God you're a genius. Frank said around his arm, Gerard's neck as they two entered the apartment. Imagine being their neighbors. After wadding? Okay, through the door. Waiting? I don't know. Gerard dropped Frank's pot on the floor, carefully as he could, in the middle of the living room. I'll be back. I'm going to get the plant from outside, he said, leaving Frank to twiddle his thumbs. When he came back, Frank was turning his head best he could to look at his surroundings. Nice place. I was thinking I could get to see it. I wasn't going to see it until I could walk. Gerard dismissed the thought of Frank. The thought that Frank had pretty much just invited himself into Gerard's house. So, do you call your house Gerard's house, not your house? He was right, though. He couldn't stay in the balcony forever. You've been through here before, actually. No, my seats have, Frank corrected. I'm not saying that. You can read that yourself. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that either.